different places. And then yesterday, a few number of measures were announced by the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, including the extension and enhancement of the Bond Connect and Southbound Bond Connect, and then also the eligibility of assets for repo transactions and so on, using bonds, that is. So I'm grateful to the central authorities for supporting the financial development of Hong Kong. In particular, the governor of the People's Bank of China announced support for issuing more bonds in Hong Kong, and also the more foreign reserve assets allocation of the country will be conducted in Hong Kong. This is to promote the development of Hong Kong in the financial area. I believe this will enhance the liquidity of RMB in Hong Kong. This will be a new impetus for the development of the bond market in Hong Kong. And that will also further strengthen mutual access between the country and Hong Kong. It will strengthen our role as an international financial center as well as an offshore renminbi trading center. Thirdly, the financial position of Hong Kong as an international financial hub is widely recognized around the world. The IMF published the concluding statement of the 2024 Article 4 mission. It recognized that Hong Kong is economy is on a path of gradual recovery, and also it recognizes the digital ecosystem in Hong Kong. The IMF staff mission reaffirms Hong Kong's position as an international financial hub. And then another piece of good news is that we have reached an agreement with the Saudi Arabian government. Starting from tomorrow, the 15th of January, holders of Hong Kong SAR passport on arrival at designated ports could apply for instant visa. That includes visa lasting for 90 days. And then Saudi Arabian nationals will see their visa-free extension be extended from 30 days to 90 days. The two measures will come into force on the same day. The Immigration Department will be announcing the details later. That means holders of SAR passport could visit all 6 members of the Cooperation Council of the Arab States, including Kuwait, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and so on. So they could all enjoy either visa-free access or visa on arrival, application on arrival. And then 2025, we have a pair of Panda Bond in Hong Kong. In February, they will be meeting with the public, so that's another piece of good news for us in 2025. And then in March, the largest sports infrastructure in Hong Kong, the Kai Tak Sports Park, will be formally opened. This will become a venue for major mega events as well as sports events. And then for light public housing, in the first quarter this year, there will be the first batch of occupants moving into light public housing. And the Chinese Medicine Hospital will also be commissioned in phases this year. As for the Hong Kong part of the Hetao Cooperation Zone, the first batch of tenants could move in the second half of this year. So that will lead Hong Kong to a high level as an innovation and technology hub. In 2025, the SL government will be embarking on 3 major tasks. First of all, we will further leverage on our institutional advantage of one country, 2 systems to create more room for development. We must hold firm to the principle of one country and then leverage on the advantages of 2 systems So we will leverage on our unique advantage of being connected to the world and being backed by the motherland. We are going to we keep expanding our global network. So far we have signed 24 investment agreements covering 33 economies. We have also signed 9 free trade agreements covering 21 economies. We will actively enter into negotiations with more economies on investment agreements and free trade agreements that will provide a better market condition for businesses in Hong Kong, and also there will be better legal protection. We will soon be joining the RCEP. We are all ready for the discussions, and that will bring more new growth points for Hong Kong's economy. We will further expand our global network. We will strengthen our position as an international financial center, shipping and trade center, and we will play our role as an important connection of the Greater Bay Area with the world. We will also keep expanding our overseas French circles with the Middle East, ASEAN and other emerging markets. We will be fostering further economic and trade cooperation, and we will also foster the flow of people. And then we will seize upon opportunities to unite the community and lead all sectors to embark on further reform. In my policy address, I propose this further reform. There are over 600 policy initiatives that covers governance, land supply and housing, medical care, people's livelihood issues, and so on. For example, we will continue to deepen the reform of the healthcare system. That includes reforming the hospital authority, the division of work between the Department of Health and the HA, and we will strengthen primary health care, and we're going to fully promote primary health care comprehensively, and we will be building more district health centers and so on. And this year we're going to announce the development blueprint of traditional Chinese medicine. That's to help promote the internationalization of Chinese medicine, and they will continue to embark on targeted poverty alleviation measures to meet the needs of the public. For example, we will expand the scope of the Guangdong scheme for residential care services, and then we will expand our community care teams to also support schemes for the elderly to all 18 districts. Thirdly, we are going to make sure we support national strategies, so there will be new impetus and then there will be new growth points for our economy. And we will proactively promote Hong Kong as an international innovation and technology hub. We will be promoting the transformation and upgrading of traditional industries. We will actively develop new quality productive forces, and we will set up a new system for regulation and testing and certification of medicine. And then we are going to build an international education hub. We will promote the development of the Hotel area for innovation and technology development. In 2025, together with the SL government, we will continue to bring together the community and then embark on reform. We will enhance our connection to motherland and with the other parts of the world, and then together we will improve people's livelihood, so we could enhance the happiness of the public. Thank you.
We're now opening the floor for questions. If you want to pose questions, please raise your hand and identify the organizations you represent, and please limit yourself to 2 questions. The lady over there, please. Good morning, I'm from TVB. I want to talk about the scaffolding collapse in Kai Tak, which is the 2nd incident in a row. And will you revise again the safety guidelines? Also, will you extend the opening hours of the border control points during Lunar New Year holiday? The government attaches importance and take it seriously all occupational or construction site incidents. The scaffolding collapse led to the injury of 11 people. I sent my care to them. Indeed, we have already raised the penalty level. The fine has been raised to $10 million, and for all serious incidents, and the penalty could be as high as 2 years of imprisonment. The Labor Department has already terminated or suspended the scaffolding works at the construction site, and it will launch an investigation comprehensively. The Labor Department investigation will be an in-depth one as well as a swift one. We will hold all the parties involved accountable, and we will, in accordance with the law as well as the relevant guidelines, hold the people involved accountable. The LD will work proactively on this. Here, I would like to appeal to those practitioners, especially the managers on construction sites, as well as those responsible for safety measures. They must, in accordance with the law as well as the guidelines formulated by the Labor Department, stringently put in place safety measures on the construction sites. I also encourage them to make use of technology to make improvements. Anyone who finds anything about the work procedures or about the construction site should report to the government immediately. The LD will work proactively on the report. I hope we can all work together to minimize the safety risks on construction sites. In relation to your question about our arrangement on border control points during Lunar New Year holiday, we have an established mechanism and procedure. The Secretary for Security will identify dates on which a lot of visitors are expected to come to Hong Kong, for example, during long holidays and festivities. This time around, the Secretary for Security has already held the first meeting to coordinate as well as to analyze the situation during the Lunar New Year holiday, including the expected visitor numbers and the arrangements in relation to traffic as well as crowd management during different events. This also involves the arrangement at different border control points. We will work with the mainland authorities on the assessment, and we will announce the relevant details in due course. Next question. The gentleman in brown.
The South China Morning Post. First, former Chief Executive Carrie Lam is moving into the immigration tower and will remain there for at least 3 years. Has the government suspended the redevelopment project of the 3 government buildings in Wan Chai? And will that delay affect Hong Kong's competitiveness as a trade fair destination? And will there be other projects be delayed or postponed or stalled out because of the deficit problem government is facing? The second question is about the Security Bureau has sent a team to Thailand to liaise with the local authorities in a high-profile move. What do you expect them to achieve with this tour, with this meeting with government officials there? And will you seek support from Beijing as demanded by the victims' families? And do you think is traveling still safe to Thailand for Hong Kongers? Thank you.
The Wan Chai redevelopment plan will go ahead as planned. It is important for government to make good use of resources. So while the redevelopment plan will go ahead, the buildings that have been vacated, we should make good use of them. That is why we are now renovating the accommodation there so as to allow former chief executives to move in. I think that will save government money, and also that will ensure government resources are properly utilized. So I repeat, the Wan Chai redevelopment plan will go ahead as planned. Regarding our competitiveness, despite the financial constraint, the government has said many times that we will continue to have capital projects, particularly government capital projects, in the coming years. Will ensure that on average, each year we'll have capital projects amounting to 90 billion Hong Kong dollar a year. That will ensure, first of all, the infrastructure projects will go ahead, but priority will be given to Northern Metropolis and also making lands, particularly for housing and industry development. As regards the visits by Secretary Bureau to Thailand, I thank Secretary Bureau to try all means to help the stranded, imprisoned somehow, or their freedom restricted Hong Kong people in Southeast Asia countries. A lot of them have been deceived to work for high return, and repeatedly the government has said that these are scams. So it is important that we tell everybody that we should be extra careful and should see to all these deception cases, we don't fall into the trap. So since 2024, when this trend got escalated again, Secretary Bureau has already escalated their action in the task force. The task force comprises not just SB officials, but also police and immigration officials. And the investigators have been making use of all possible means, including their Interpol network, the investigation network that has been built in their action against organized crime and drugs dealing. So it shows that Secretary Bureau's task force is attaching not just great importance to the cases, but also trying all their best to help those who are being kept in captivity in these Southeast Asian countries, Myanmar in this case. And the visit by the Secretary Bureau Task Force, I think, has achieved some positive results, and they have been met by the Minister for Justice in Thailand, and Thailand officials have already indicated that they will attach great importance to the cases and try all their means to try to rescue those Hong Kong people who are captivated. There have been positive results all along, because since this trend has gone up again, already 16 captivated Hong Kong citizens have returned to Hong Kong safely. There are still 12 we want to help, but I'm positive to see the strong attention and commitment that has been given by our Thailand counterparts. They are all working full steam and hard in this case. The Chinese embassy in Thailand has already helped as well, and they have been helping in liaison, setting up communication network for us, for the investigators to exchange intelligence, and also to ensure that the best available possible action can be taken. For operational matters, I think the investigators know best how to pursue, and you can see the full attention and the full commitment that has been devoted to this matter by both the Hong Kong authorities and the Thailand authorities. I want them to work really hard, and hopefully they will produce some positive results for us.
好，最後一條題目。
And we have included a lot of information on Security Bureau's webpage in relation to travel information to Thailand. So I have asked SB to update it regularly with the latest information and developments. One thing that I want to make clear to people is, so far, the modus operandi is to deceive people to go to Thailand and then send them across the border. The indications are that this is a scam that happened with the people who have fallen into the trap to make such agreement to go. So far, there has not been indication that it happens indiscriminately against people in Thailand. But we have to keep alert to the development of the situation, and Security Bureau will be updating information on the website to inform members of the public.
OK， 最後一題目，右手邊。
Last question on the second row, the lady in brown. I'm from Now TV. Good morning. Just now, there's a mention of the Undersecretary for Security leading a task force to Thailand. Would you seek the assistance of our country? Under what circumstances would you raise the travel alert to Thailand to red? And you said there will be stepping up of publicity. So how can you update with the website information to remind the public, because there's been much talk about these cases, still we're seeing more cases. And then the Security Bureau is investigating the head of the Hong Kong Public Opinion Research Institute, that is Mr. Robert Chung, to see if he's helped other absconders. Well, many organizations work with overseas organizations, and when scholars conduct opinion poll, what do they need to look out for? How can they make sure that they comply with the law, at the same time they remain professional in their liaison with overseas organizations? Thank you. First, on the Thailand case, Security Bureau attaches great importance to it. In 2024, when we saw signs of resurgence of such cases, the Security Bureau has already strengthened the role of the task force. And on the task force, there are colleagues from the Security Bureau as well as from the police force and the immigration department. They have used all the various investigation channels and networks. For example, the Interpol, or networks on combating drugs and drug trafficking. And then they've exhausted all such networks and communication channels, so they could help to rescue the 12 Hong Kong residents whose freedom is still restricted. And so they try to rescue these victims as soon as possible. The Secretary for Security has directed this task force to carry out any action they could to deal with these cases. Now, the task force has arrived at Thailand. They met with the Minister of Justice, and there was some discussion on how they could work together on the investigation and assist Hong Kong residents who need rescue. I see that the Thailand authorities take such actions very seriously. The government, they have raised the level of government officials involved in this exercise. In the past, the Security Bureau has already rescued 16 Hong Kong residents whose freedom was detained in the past. Now, 16 of them have come back to Hong Kong. We're still working hard to rescue the other 12. And we'll exhaust all means possible. That includes the Chinese embassy in Thailand. They help also much with in our work. And then we have our own networks, such as the Interpol network or other ties with counterparts in other countries. We regularly exchange intelligence. We want to monitor the change of modus operandi, and we also want to track their funding sources. And of course, we won't make such information public, because we can trace the funds, and then that may help us to rescue our residents. So such information won't be made public. Then as for the travel alert, currently is yellow for Thailand. And on the Security Bureau's website and mobile app, the latest information is uploaded for the public. Now, so the government is trying all means to provide as much information as possible. But Hong Kong, like any other countries that face challenges of scam, the government works working very hard. Still, unfortunately, people fall victim to such scams. So we can only work harder, and we hope that people will realize there are so many different ways to deceive people, and there's so many different types of scams, and then there's a lot of misinformation, and it looks real, but actually it's not. So we need to remain highly alert. So that's why everyone needs to help work together to step up publicity and education. And when there is new modus operandi, we always inform the public at the first instance. Now, you may have be knowledgeable or have vast experience in certain fields, but then we see that people of varying backgrounds, say with financial expertise or highly educated, they still fall victims to scams. So that's why we need to remain highly alert. As for the travel alert, the Security Bureau will consider a basket of factors. Now, we need to work together to combat the threats of and the new modus operandi. Now, after the Security Bureau has considered the basket of factors, they will decide what to do next. On acts endangering national security, I've said repeatedly, we will always enforce the law. We will pursue the matter to the bitter end. If someone is involved in acts endangering national security, we will come down hard on them. But then if there are individuals or organizations that have ties with individuals or organizations endangering national security, if they give them assistance in any form, we will conduct full investigation. We will pursue the matter to the end. So my advice is, do not engage in any acts that endanger national security. I believe if professional organizations don't have any intention to endanger national security, they just need to follow their own work process, their ethics, their code of conduct in carrying on with their business or activities, and that will be fine. Because the offense of endangering national security is clearly defined. It's stated clearly in the law which sorts of acts are constitute offences, and then each time in every operation the law enforcement agency will explain clearly what sorts of acts constitute the offence of endangering national security. So the law enforcement agencies work professionally. As for individual organizations, as long as they conduct their activities professionally and they have no intention to endanger national security, they could go on with their own work. Thank you. That's the end of the session. Thank you.